Okay, what up gang? So today what I want to talk about is kind of like a mindfulness technique and something that I do pretty much every single day just to kind of get myself in the right mindset. Especially I try to focus this one around at the morning just because it can give you that really start to that kind of like just, makes all the difficulties or challenges that you're going to face throughout the day just seem a lot less, daunting. And what it is inside this book here. So what you're going to need is just an exercise book, nothing too crazy. I mean, I've got the marble, covered because I like style, so, great. But what we're going to do inside of this, exercise book is essentially any time you, come across a quote or something from, either something that you read or see online to maybe it might even be something someone tells you just directly. I recommend writing it down, either noting it on your phone and then eventually writing it down in your little exercise book. Because what we're going to do is we're going to amass a series of quotes that kind of inspire us or get us to push further or, just speak to us in any kind of, significant way that, your quotes might not be exactly like mine and, not like the next person's, but if it speaks to you, I recommend writing it down because what happens in a lot of instances is people will see a quote that inspires them and they'll be like, oh wow, they'll feel, good about themselves for 5 minutes or just in the heat of the moment. But then when it comes to later in their life or, later down the line when it comes to, another action that they need to do and they kind of need that same level of inspiration, they might forget that quote or maybe not have it on hand. So, they kind of don't get that extra push and drive. So what this is about is just slowly amassing. And I'll show you kind of myself. So I'm not even halfway through the book when it comes to filling it up, but I'm slowly getting there one by one, just adding it piece by bit. And it doesn't have to be anything too philosophical. It can be something, very straightforward. Like here's one from Stephen Covey. You think effectiveness with people and efficiency with things. So in other words, trying to be effective, you don't try to think efficiency with people like, trying to improve their efficiency. You're more just trying to be effective with your interactions with them. So everyone walks away positive. But when you're thinking about things like, how much money or what's the time that this takes to do, that's when you're thinking efficiency. Or at least that's what I read from that quote. Here's another one that kind of speaks to me. I'll just read a few just to kind of give you a general idea of kind of what I'm talking about. And like I said, it can range as long as it inspires you or relates to you or it speaks to you, then definitely do it. So liberty for wolves means certain death for lambs. So I think we don't need much explanation of what that means. Oh, peace of mind is priceless. God, isn't that just a great one? God damn, yeah. So just reading, just flipping through these, what I recommend is in the morning, it's going to take time for you to amass a collection of quotes, but what you'll eventually do is you'll have a book like this, full after page. You don't have to do the whole thing. You don't have to go from one beginning of your quote book to the end all in one go. Maybe if you only have a few quotes, that might be a way to go about it. But once you kind of amass, a number of pages and you've kind of got a long running thing going, you might want to just dabble and just, maybe read one or two quotes on every page, or maybe just read a whole page, and then just maybe read one or two whole pages and then leave that for the day. But what this can kind of do for you, like I said, is it puts you in the right mindset at the beginning, especially ideally at the beginning of the day. If you don't have the time and you have to do it some other point in the day, I definitely, still do it. But it can kind of put things into perspective and give you that kind of more, I don't want to say philosophical, but it can kind of you'll approach the day from a different angle, if you hadn't otherwise done it, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the lesson for today. This is going to be this morning routine with the quotes of significance. This is going to be a 3-part series. Well, this will be one technique that I recommend to do in the morning, and there'll be 2 others that I'll be recommending in subsequent videos. But you'll have to wait for them. So for now, just if you have any questions or any concerns or things you want me to raise or look at, drop a comment and I'll get around to it. Thanks, guys.